At this time, I would like to ask Professor Emeritus Mack Hill, if you would please come forward. Mack? When Mack first called me and told me that he was going to be inducted into the Worcester State University, I'll get that right eventually, Worcester State University Athletic Hall of Fame, and that he wanted me to introduce him, I asked him why. And he started telling me, because you were my predecessors. I said, no, Mac, why are they inducting you? When I came here in 1971, the athletic records of the college, and some of you heard this many years ago, were on a folded piece of paper, 1 1/4 inches by 2 inches, in Franny Dyson's wallet. And when I asked him, I said, Franny, someone told me you had the records of the college. He said, yeah. He pulled out this paper, as ratty as you'll ever see, out of his wallet, and unfolded it with the names and totals of some top scorers in men's basketball. And I said, is that it? He said, that's it. In that first summer, I got permission from the college to go to the Worcester Public Library and to put together, going through the microfilm of every basketball game, every sporting event we ever played. And I wrote it down on box scores or the appropriate score, and then compiled them what I thought was decent records. In 1977, when I got named the director of this building before we built it, I turned over the records to someone who did a much better job than I did. When Mack took over for me, he did 3 things. 1, he took what I had handwritten and he typed it so people could read it. 2, he expanded those records to virtually every contest, and he found them and put all the records together for everything I couldn't find and began to systematize it. And then 3, he checked my math. He did a hell of a job. Let me tell you, a basketball coach has to constantly worry about 13, 14, 15 players. A hockey coach, maybe 22, 23. A football coach, maybe 50. An SID, every athlete in the college, is the concern of the SID. You have to maintain all of the statistics for all of them. And for everyone who does something that's noteworthy, you have to work your tail off to make sure they get recognition in the appropriate news media. And you have to update everything. And I'm going to tell you this. He did it much longer than I did. It's a labor of love. You don't do it for the money. There is no prestige. You do it because you have a love for the players and you want them to receive the recognition that they deserve. There's a story that Mack and his wife Deanne went all the way down to Florida to watch the men's basketball team play against Tampa University in the 2002-2003 season. That's a lie. He was already there. He had no intention of watching the basketball game. He was down there to get some sun. But happened to see in the paper that Worcester State was playing Tampa University. He was in Sarasota. They were up in, Tampa. Duh. So he said to Deanne, we're here, what the hell, let's go. Deanne said, well, how much is it? So he checked, the tickets were $3 a piece. He said, we can swing that, so they drove up. And it sounds like he went there to watch them. He just happened to be there. It was no big deal. Let me tell you in closing this. In closing, let me say this. He won't remember this, but after I gave it up, I didn't have to go to all the athletic contests I did. Mack and Deanne, and certainly Mack, and mostly Deanne, were at every one that I ever went to after I stepped down. No matter what game I went to, they were there. And I asked Mack this at a hockey game. I said, why are you at all of these contests? You know, to myself, I'm thinking, get a life. He could have said, because it's my job. But he didn't. He could have said, because I have to. But he didn't. And this sums up why he needs to be and ought to be in the Hall of Fame. He said, I'm here because I want to be. That's the dedication that allowed him to help all of our athletes when he was sports information director. I admire it greatly, so I'm going to ask if Mack Hill will come forward to be inducted into the Worcester State College Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised, I'm pleased, I'm flattered, and certainly I'm honored. It's an especial honor to be a member of the 25th anniversary class inducted into the Worcester State University Hall of Fame. I'm certainly grateful to the university, the athletic department, and the selection committee. I want to offer my congratulations to the other members of the class of 2011. And I think I can speak in behalf of all 6 of us when I say to the old timers who are here, welcome home, welcome back. And I think this would be a good time for us to remember those who are no longer with us, but they're here tonight in spirit, I'm sure. My official involvement with Worcester State athletics began in the mid-70s and extended to the late 80s. But my involvement started in 1972 when the Hill family moved here from Cincinnati, and we were always strong believers in supporting the home team. So we started attending Worcester State athletic events right away. There were 3 youngsters that moved here with us from Cincinnati, the oldest being 6 years old. They didn't have much to say about it. They came to the athletic events with us, but I'm sure they were very happy to do so. The only time that we left them at home with a sitter was on Saturday home games, because somebody always had a party after the game. I'm sure there are people here who are old enough to remember those 3 little kids. And as they do, they have grown up, and they're here this evening. And I would like to acknowledge Billy, Carol, and Sharon, and certainly share this award with them. Also with us this evening is Carol's husband, Gabe, and their daughter, Brielle. Back in my days as an undergraduate at what was then known as Wheeling College, I used to spend time with my nose in the scorebook during the men's basketball games. And there was this perky little cheerleader who I found very distracting during those games. She's now my wife, the mother of my children, and eventually was my unofficial co-advisor of the pep club. She, Sue Cooper, who is here this evening, and Barbara Lee Stamper actually made uniforms for the hockey cheerleaders. Certainly, I share this honor with her as well. If I could figure out some way to get her name and the other 3 on this plaque, I would do so. So thank you very much. Also, I appreciate the presence this evening of our good friends, Sue and Alan Cooper, and Betty Ann and Tony Caputo. Thank you for coming. The Coopers are easily as faithful as the Hills when it comes to attending athletic events, and I want to acknowledge that. And thank everybody very much, and I will certainly cherish this. Thank you so much.